Tanse, Ndutimak. When you use that word as part of your greeting, it you mean more than just your relatives. It includes friends and people that you know. So in Gitlake, kitutim to now. Today, I'm making some short videos about our language, about Cree. I'm not teaching it, but I'm just talking about it in different ways. You know, how we speak it, how our values and beliefs are included in the language, how we communicate and interact in our language. Because there's a behavior that goes along with speaking Cree. Like quite often, I notice, like, say in town, if people are speaking Cree, you can notice by how they interact. Sometimes, you know, notice that, take note of that, and you will know that they are speaking Cree. Like I said, values and beliefs are tied up in our language because tansikis tapuihtamak ikse kitsipik squano. We speak what we believe in a language. Now I'm going to be mixing Cree and English here in my presentation because that's how we speak in Giflake, Kringlish. So Cree is more than just words. It's phrases, it's concepts, it's sometimes not possible to literally translate things into English. We have no words for something maybe, or because our language is mostly descriptive, literal, and action, it's not so much things. You know, in English they make up a word. A vehicle, you know, it's a word we learn. A house, we learn a word. That's what it's called. But in Cree, it's more than that, and I will be talking about that in another video. Talking about values and beliefs, like I asked Nehyawewin, they didn't take tomorrow for granted. They believed that each day they were given was a gift from the Creator. So they didn't take tomorrow for granted. They didn't assume that they'd be given the next day. So the word they used, they didn't really have a word for tomorrow. But the word we use and still use today is wapake. Wapake. If the sun comes up, if daylight breaks, that's what wapake means. Because of that, we are to be grateful for each day that the Creator gives us. That's what that means in the language. Cree is a humorous language. So Scotman win pahapiah ko maka kapik squeak Nehyawewin katsimok. So Scotman pahapiah, and there's a behavior that goes along with that too. And if there's people there or somebody that doesn't understand it, then you try to translate it to them, and it just loses. It just loses so much that it's not even funny sometimes. And they're probably wondering, why were they laughing so much? It's not even funny. Cree, you know, we think best in our language. If Cree is your first language, we think best in our language, and in a way that maybe English doesn't. Like, things make sense, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm making this video really fast so I can squeeze everything in. But I guess just the final thing I'm going to mention is there's a word that we use often if you're amongst indigenous people, you'll hear it. Indigenous, sometimes people who are not indigenous, non-natives, they'll pick up that word and behavior because it's a word, it's a behavior, it's an expression. And that's ma. We use it whenever, we know when to use it, but there's no real explanation of what it means. But you use it in things like if you haven't seen anyone for a long time and you run into each other, you might both say, ma. Or if somebody falls, you might say, ma. So it doesn't really mean anything. I remember the first time my daughter-in-law from Finland used it because she's picked it up. Oh, we laughed. It was so funny. But that's it for now. Thank you for joining me. Kinanaskum nawaw indohtawi kanot. Ikse maga.